There I am, some big dumb kid from Chicago. I grew up going to a Catholic high school. Football was life. And family, well, they were okay. We grew up kind of poor though as a single child. I didn't have all the amenities as the other kids in the neighborhood. iPhones, video games, things of that nature, computers, PlayStations. But what I did have, I feel made me the football player and the future coach that I will be, was a weight set in my garage. There's my dad getting swole. He always worked out in there and wanted me to do so too. But my top 3 colleges coming out of senior year were Wisconsin Badgers, the Tennessee Volunteers, and Northern Illinois because one of my family went there. Coach had set us up with a good schedule this year. We played some of the top teams in Chicago. And here's my first game, my first carry of my senior year. I felt like it was going to be good with a 7-yard rush. I felt like I was going to dominate Nazareth. They weren't very good, but we played them every year. On my second carry, I took the ball, got a first, ran this kid over. I was a bruising type of running back. Big power type kid. As you can see, breaking tackles left and right. It always made sense to me. And that's because of the weights we had in my garage. I worked out constantly. On my fourth carry of the game, I ran it for a good 10 yards, bowling kids over, continuing my dominance. They just couldn't stop me. Right here, that play, that was a mistake. I was pissed off. That was the only time they tackled me in the backfield. After that, I took offense to that, deciding to run kids over left and right, rumbling and stumbling, scoring my first touchdown from 17 yards out. I was stoked. I knew I needed to get a scholarship, and this was the way I could do it. I continued my dominance with my stiff arm, breaking tackles, running off long gains. They just had no answer for me. Being 6'7", 250, and catching my first pass of the game, being as big as I was, I knew that most kids in my age, they couldn't stop me. There's another touchdown. Most kids slid off me pretty easily, or I gave them the forearm stiff. It was my go-to weapon, but when I got really angry, that's when I lowered the shoulder and put the boom on them. On this particular play, this kid came at me and I swiped him right past me while stiff-arming his teammate to run for 20 yards. I started rolling off big yard gains, and I think coach knew that I was in the zone because he kept giving me the ball more and more, especially as we got into the red zone and got closer to the end zone. I was proud of my offensive line. They've been blocking for me for 4 years now, all 5 of them. They knew how I ran the ball. They knew how I wanted to put it in the end zone. And they were good at blocking for the extra points. We went up 24-7 at this point, just after halftime, and coach kept feeding me the ball. I just kept running kids over, knowing that this was my shot to get into college, to get a scholarship. He even let me run the Wildcat, where I got to play quarterback, which was pretty cool. But coach knew my strong suit was get him the ball, run up and down the field, and just run kids over left and right. That's my 3rd touchdown of the game. I was pretty hyped. They really couldn't stop me too much. He also put me in some pass patterns. I did have a good set of hands, running that one off for 10 yards for a first down. But coach knew. He knew where the money was. He knew where I was going to make my bank. And he knew that I was going to get into college one day. Just kept giving me the ball, running kids over left and right. On this particular play, I knew I needed to get into the end zone to put us up by another score. We went up 38-7. This game ended up being a blowout at one point. I also was a two-way player, played middle linebacker, but most schools didn't really particularly pay attention to me there. This particular game, I only got one tackle. I was player of the game that first game, rushing for 394 yards with 5 touchdowns, 5 catches, and a tackle. I knew after that I'd have schools interested in me, and probably by the end of the season I'll have my pick. Purdue, Illinois, and Western Kentucky all became interested. I picked Illinois, and Ball State and Western Kentucky also wanted me at linebacker, but I knew that's not going to be my position of choice. This season is going to be long and hard, but I know I can do it. If I keep hitting the weights and keep running like I did this first game, I'm going to get into the college of my choice and make my dreams happen on my road to glory.